Hello and good morning. Welcome to a Flory Models Saturday live show. Here we are with you to around about sort of 12 o'clock midday for usual thing. A little bit of modelling stuff, chat, questions, answers, hopefully, and everything that comes in between. Do you know when was the last time we did a show?
No.
On Saturday? April.
Go on, how long ago?
April. We did it.
Easter.
Easter, yeah. That was the last time we did a Saturday show.
Wow.
So, have you enjoyed your summer holiday?
Yeah, it's been bliss.
Very, very nice. Good job. Right. Okay. So we're just making sure we are all good. The live chat is open on YouTube as well. So if you're on YouTube, you can comment and questions and stuff like that is on there as well. And also everybody is okay in the Flory Models chat. I've got that one up. Stuart says, did his parcel turn up at PM Towers?
Yes, Stu, and I'll sort the postage out today when we've done. When we finished the show, it turned up yesterday. And just answer to Mark before he asks, yours hasn't come back yet, Mr. Massey. So I'll let you know when it does, and we'll sort that game back out because God knows what's happened with that. So yeah, there you go. Bit of
so whilst we're on this, and we'll get this out. Yeah, we'll get this out of the way. John, what's been going on with 48-hour postage? As you are the spokesman, for Royal Mail.
I don't do track 48 at all now. If I send anything, it goes track 24.
Right.
Because that is all they're red hot on at the moment.
Yeah.
And
the problem we've had. Yeah, well, the problem I've been having is obviously sending out my orders. Normally, I've got a parcel box just down the end of the road on the industrial estate, and I pop it all in there because it's all pre-done and franked and all the rest of it. So it just goes in there. They won't let me do it at the moment because it has to go into the post office. So I have to queue up with everyone else and get them all sort of scanned in the system and all the rest of it. And
I think the problem is as well at the moment is Parcel Farce are
involved.
Doing a lot of our stuff as well, which is never good.
Hey, they're not doing it because, as Mark will testify on our chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I had one go to Hungary. It sat in Hungary for months till it got going.
Track 48 is very hit and miss. I do track 24 because
Did you get your parcel, Phil, yesterday?
I did. Yes, it's here. I was gonna show them all in a moment, but yes, it has turned up.
So that right, okay, fine.
Yeah, I must admit, it's nothing wrong. It's just me getting them in the system for some reason. Say I have to go old school and go literally physically in, and all she does is go bit to them all. Well, you know, could just chuck them in the box and get rid of them. But
Anyway.
Yeah. Very good. Anyway, good morning to everybody in YouTube. They're suddenly in. That's just due. We got Looney in there. We've got hello from Portugal, from Quantum Plastics. Keith, good morning, everyone. Good morning, gentlemen. 5 a.m. here in South Carolina. Well done, Kurt. To be honest, I was up at that time this here as well because the other half, she's at work. So, you know, morning, she's up. We're all up, so bagpuss. So, yes.
Yeah,
it's cool progress,
can chat in YouTube chat, can't they?
Yes, it's all in YouTube chat is in there as well. So yes, we're across all the airwaves this morning. We're all good. So yeah, all going well. So What have we been up to, John? How's your week been?
No, don't do that.
No. Is it a normal week this week compared to last week?
It's getting back to normal, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly but surely. So
have you been in your shed at all?
Not been in the shed a lot, but I have started a kit.
Ooh.
It's upside down, but
yeah. Is that a bolt and pull?
Defiant, yeah. I've started the Defiant. So I've been itching to do this one for ages. So
very nice.
I just can't make my mind up whether to do the day fighter or the night fighter scheme. So
what do you think?
Do you want it black or do you want it camo?
I think public vote, isn't it?
Yeah, public vote. Throw it open to public vote.
Public vote. They'll tell you what to do.
I am leaning towards the night fighter now because I suddenly thought, well, that'll cut out all the masking and.
But then you got to deal with black. The black's not an easy colour to deal with, is it?
No, but it's a good one to try. Good one to try every now and again, and
yes.
So we'll see.
It worked great paint, to be honest, at the U, so you can weather it.
Oh yeah,
they did fade a lot.
You know, it worked brilliant. So, and I'm sure there's loads of pictures, isn't there, of them worn and fatty looking on the internet. So, yeah.
Nathan's okay. He's off on his hollybobs, I think, isn't he?
Yes.
I don't think he's been home.
He's been away for 6 weeks, isn't he?
Great Britain.
Is he? I thought he was just going around Scotland, living on haggis.
Haggis and tatties.
Yeah, neeps, isn't it?
Neeps.
Yes, neeps, tatties and haggis. He's fine. Or Swede. Turnips, isn't it? Turnips.
Just go to Greg's.
yeah, or just go to Greg's. You'll be fine. Very nice. Yes, good morning to Sweden as well. Look, we're across. Stefan's in Sweden. Bless him. Mark as well. From number 12. No, I won't say. Is it British Steel? Fair enough. Very nice. Look, Windows. How can Windows do an update? It doesn't like me anymore because I'm on the old school and I'm refusing to go up to Windows 11. Let me just get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. That's fine. Well, busy week. Obviously this week, if you saw the catch-up show yesterday, the bike was finished, which I've been harping on about like some love-sick child for the last couple of weeks while I've been putting it together, but actually it is that good. It's absolutely fantastic, very much so. We did a thing about tools and stuff. I have got, what have I done with it? The new blocky thing from Display. I've got a review going to be doing that this week as well, so that one's coming up, but that's actually a really nice piece of kit, that. I've been using it a couple of times in anger. Now I've read the instructions. You know, do you know what? I'm now, 52, and now I'm sort of understanding what instructions are for. It does give you quite an insight on how things work, I've now learned.
They do help, don't they?
They do help, but as I say, it's one of those things. For the last Christ knows how many years, I have not bothered with them, but that's all right. We've got those. I'm just about to start on the old long nose OV10. For the Bronco as well. We've got a lot of actually res kit stuff to go in there as well. So we've got the full cockpit and we've got the crew. So they're going to have, I think, a little bit of a members vote if we're going to do it in flight in a jaunty angle, look like it's attacking something, or we're just going to do it on the ground. So I think we should do it in flight because it looks better with the gear up than it does the gear down. Looks like a shopping trolley from Asda with the gear down. Put the gear up, it looks quite mean and quite sort of good.
They normally have 3 wheels, don't they? Instead of 4.
This is it. It's probably about as wobbly on the ground. So, but yes, so we have got that little lump coming down the line as well. So I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into that. It'll be the first time we've done a big project, excuse me, in a couple of months now. So yeah, no, it'd be nice to that. And coming off the back of something we were talking about this week in some of the shows like the PM show and that, it's one of those ones. I think it's quite nice to have both. You do something very simple, but it gives you a bit of a mojo to get stuck into something that's a little bit more in depth, especially if it's conversion and stuff and changing things around or adding after market stuff. So hopefully the problems I know with this kit will be just problems I deal with as we go. So I think that's the trouble. If you build too many crap kits, you get a bit worn down by it all and they become more of an issue. Yeah, if you've done some good stuff, you get one bad kit in once in a while, you don't mind it, do you? You just tend to get on with it. So that's my theory to it.
The problem with that one's just going to be the instructions, isn't it?
Yeah.
The main problem.
And obviously the other problem, apparently the wings don't fit. Everybody I know who's built it, they say, be careful of the wings because they don't fit. Oh, okay, all right, we'll cross that when we get to it. So it'd be like your Pembroke. I'll just super glue them on. Just stuff them on and just sand it, and fill it and do it. So, yes. But anyway, that one's coming along very, very nicely. As far as the development goes, we have concrete poured out there. I have got a small little camera angle. If I just borrow the camera a minute, guys. There it is. Out there, you can just about, well, you can't really see it, but trust me, the light's bad this morning. When the sun moves around, it should be all right. But yeah, it is a little bit of a thing going out there. So hopefully it'll be drying nicely today because we've got good weather and all the rest of it. So very, very nice.
Good. That was
What
your
colour?
instruction. Oh, hold on.
Sorry, go on.
I was just about to ask John because he obviously built the 32nd F86, didn't you? The Kitty Hawk one.
Oh yeah, loads of problems.
Was it problems with instructions or problems with the kit?
Instructions.
Because the kit wasn't that bad, was it?
No, the kit went together all right. Once you sussed it out, it was the instructions.
Yeah.
The main one being because that version, I think it's a slightly longer fuselage.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the instructions did it tell you that you had to add a little spacer to the trunking for the intake.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember when you were doing that.
But yeah, you got to go careful, and parts the wrong way round, and the kit's fine, went together fine, but it's just deciphering the destructions.
Bit like the Seahawk thing you built, isn't it?
Seahawk was the same. The instructions and the numbering system was all like the Swanee. So, but again, it's one of those. I think with all their ones, as long as you literally get it all out, get the parts patch off the sprue, and you sort of match them up, you can sort of, and a lot of test fitting, you're okay. It's the bit where you just run in with glue straight away, and then you suddenly realise actually it's not that bit, and you're stuffed because you've got to try and prise it out, and stuff like that. But I think as long as you go in with it a little bit eyes wide open, and it's going to have something like that, test fit everything before you commit to glue, and you're happy, then you should be okay with them. But the usual thing with Kitty Hawk, though, isn't it, is sometimes they have like mold seams in funny places and just little things. I know the Mirage is a classic for it, because the Mirage has got a mold seam that just runs right the way down the side of the fuselage, and it's quite prominent. And I think the F5 has it as well. The big F5 they do. It's got a mold seam that runs right down the fuselage of it, and it's small enough to not notice it too badly, but once it's there, it's horrible. So but it's one of those, it's such a quick, either scrape it off or just quick sand job over it, a little bit of a polish work. You don't make much damage. It's not like it's in a really, really bad place, but it's just one of those, like, why is it there? It's just obviously the moulding isn't quite as tight as it should be, and it allows a little bit of coming through there. So, I assume this will probably have some things on it as well. I can't remember in the great scheme of things when it came out in their chain of kits being released, because they were getting better, and then
it's like a middle one in it. I think that's more of a middle one, a mid kit, weren't it? I think the Trojan's not supposed to be very good, is it? I think that's not great in 32nd for one, because like I say, the 32nd kit seemed to be better than the 48th ones, didn't they?
The one I keep getting tempted by is the Kingfisher.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot built, and it's really cool.
Are you ready for
that one as well?
I do actually. I've had one.
Me and Matt have spoken about that kit in the past. Yeah.
It is. The Kingfisher is the one, probably. They do look good when they're done. Like I say, you don't see many of them, but yeah. So you ready, John, for another Kitty Hawk kit then?
I don't know.
After how long ago did you build the Sabre?
Worst thing is, I keep getting adverts come up for Temu saying they've got it cheap.
Yeah.
But I refuse to get the Temu app.
Well, I did that once by mistake, and then what they'll do is they'll send you offers and that. So apparently now I've got enough credits and various things to buy a 4-bedroom house. The way they do it.
Because they could buy China, I think, with what I've got.
Literally, if you do sign up for it and then don't buy anything, go and look at a couple of things and don't do it. They keep sending you offers and tokens and money off vouchers just to get you to start using it. So, and I haven't done it, but it's gone on for ages and ages. So it's one of those ones. Anyway, apparently we need to go to Australia. Is that? Are we going to go and see Chris? So come over and visit and claim the travel and accommodation, all the expenses. Do you think we get that past Leslie? We're going to Australia for a month for work.
I'll go over there to live, mate. Not just.
I won't go there. Everything tries to eat you, sting you, or kill you, and that's just the locals.
But it's better than living here where you're just getting ripped off every day.
Well, yeah, that's it.
I'd rather tackle their creepy crawlies.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Yes, I don't know. I got that thing. I looked at a video on YouTube once and get bombarded with them now. Snakes falling through the roof and spiders, and that's
fine. It's no problem, is it? Not like in the middle of the outback, is it?
Funny enough, I have relatives out there who are out in the middle of nowhere. They've got a small little sheep farm with about 8 billion acres. You know,
say, a small little sheep farm. How big is that?
It is. I can't remember what it was now, but I know it's like basically almost the size of Cornwall. You know, it's like Jesus. It's not exactly that small.
Just a small concern.
Yes, that's it. Paul says, am I sending my pilots to Matt? No, because he never does them anymore. He's useless. I send him all these things to have figures for, and he doesn't do it. But even I think I can manage these ones because look, if we're doing it in flight, then we won't need it because, quite frankly, they'll have helmets on. But yes, these little guys. Look, sorry, my camera's moving.
What he's gonna do is watch my tutorial video on how to paint figures.
Yes.
And learn.
This is it. There's nothing wrong with a bit of flesh. First. No, I'll be fine with my brushes. You leave them alone.
That's a good point, John. That is a good point.
But I have got ones with helmets on. It looks like all the visors are up, which is a shame because it's better when the visors are down. So I've just got to do around the chin. But what I do like about it, I like the ones because you've got the helmets either in their hand and you can have them hanging out the aircraft. That's my sort of plan with it if we're doing it gear down. So crew in it as if it's all ready to go.
Big question is, what would you do about the props though?
So there's two trains of thought with that, isn't it, really? You can either just say, right, it's, been taken with a camera and it's frozen the props in space, as happens. Or you could technically try and do something with a bit of acetate and try and blow them out a bit.
Why don't you motorise them?
Or you could stick to motorisers in them, and here we go again with all of that, which, as I say, I've done many, many times in the past, and I've sort of gone past it now, because full well it'll break.
We want full light and sound, and it actually firing rockets.
Full startup, rocket salvos coming off it, gun packs firing. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what we can do with that. Yeah, okay. We'll see.
Before the end of October.
That's it. Well, I try and do a build every month, so it will be interesting on that one. But uniforms and that, I think I'm all right for. It's just faces, but luckily, if we're going to do it with the helmet on, even I can manage that one. I think it's just he'll be boss-eyed. I'll give him a visor, put a little bit of acetate so he's covered. Fit that in there with a pair of tweezers, it'll be fine. So, but at least it's only got one aerial.
Is that
so it'll be right. That's it. It's got one aerial off the back by the look of it. So it'll be all right. It'll be fine. I think with the cockpit set, it'll look really, really nice. But luckily, it'll be one of those ones where, and I wouldn't do it normally. I wouldn't bother putting a cockpit set in it or anything else like that if you're going to close it up because you're not going to see it. But in that you will, because it's like driving around in a greenhouse. So
at least you can see it.
Yeah, that's it. Got really big panels above to look down through, and obviously the side ones and that. Yeah. I think it'll look quite smart with them both. So yeah, wheel wells, not so. But yeah.
Well, if it's in flight, don't matter, does it?
No, it'll be all right. It'll be a cool one to do.
Hey, do you think the doors will fit?
that will be the thing, won't it? Because it's kitty walk. Chances are they'll be well out. It won't fit at all. So, yes. Okay, question. What are good colours for beginnings for airbrushing? Okay, so again, I've done loads and loads of videos on tutorials on it and all the rest of it. You can't go wrong with good old-fashioned Tamiya. If you can, AK stuff is really good as well. I know I'm old school because I've still got the glassy bottles, but if you have got some of those as well, the new ones, then they're really, really good and simple. The great thing about using the hybrid paints, if you like, is because they're alcohol based. So basically it performs like a lacquer. And that means they're incredibly forgiving. You don't have to be so tight on the ratios because obviously if you go in for like acrylics and true acrylics, you got to get your ratios right to get it nice and smooth and that. Sometimes you need retarders and that. But we're saying about being a beginner at it, then I would obviously always shout out Tamiya because it's pretty much bomb proof. Start at 50-50, maybe a little bit wetter, maybe 60% thinners, 40% paint, air pressure, around about 15 PSI to start with. I know everyone's going, how high? Trust me, it's nothing like I used to spray at, 40 PSI. But it's one of those ones where it's a learning curve. and it will take a while, but it's a bit like learning to drive a manual car, as I say. As soon as you sort of work out the 3 degrees of airbrushing, which is your mixture, your airflow, and your distance from your model. Once you've got all 3 of those, you can tweak any one of them to sort of compensate for the other. So, you know, and that's how I've taught it on my videos and things like that. But once you've got all 3, you'll know then just to be, oh, I need to be a little bit closer. We need to be a bit further away. I need to dial in my air pressure to be a little bit closer. I need to obviously thin it a little bit more. And you just work it out on the fly. And then you'll start to do the thing of just adding a couple of bit more drops of thinner into your mix as you're painting, just to give you the right type of paint you're going for. Or obviously you're going to work in the other way and thicken it up a little bit if it's spidering and stuff like that, and you'll be sort of understanding how it works. But honestly, have a look at the tutorial videos on the site. I walk you right the way through from your first ever time using an airbrush to actually quite complicated stuff as well. But for paint wise, I would recommend going with some type of, you know, Tamiya's are fantastic. The AK ranges are really good for it. I would just avoid things like trying to spray life color off the bat and like true acrylics, because again, they work in a slightly different way and you just need to get a bit of a feel for it, I think, before you move on to those. What would you guys say?
Tamiya is readily available in most places, isn't it? You can get
and
them
as well, ease of
easily.
getting it. Yeah.
And you've got the option, you can either use their X20A, which is sort of IPA alcohol based, or if you want to try lacquers, you can use lacquers. You can go either way with it. Which if you get anything like Vallejo or anything like that, you haven't got that option, have you?
No.
Just the thing is the aircraft builder or an armour builder, because the only trouble with the Tamiya range is it's a bit limited with aircraft colours.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, if you want one of them, the Aqueous range, Mr. Hobby Aqueous range, it's got the more aircraft colours and it's the same sort of paint. To be honest, it's an hybrid and it's an alcohol based.
Yes.
Paint, nice to spray, same sort of mixing ratios, pressures. It's so
fantastic. I just obviously I don't do YouTube very often. I'm just wondering what all the little crown things are in the chat. So I just clicked on one and apparently it's top fans.
Top fans.
So apparently, is it like top trumps? Because I don't
fans.
do YouTube, so I don't know. How does top fans work and all the rest of it? And how do you get a crown or XP?
I think it's them who just contribute a lot, and you know.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's not like OnlyFans then.
No, thankfully.
I wouldn't know, John. How does that one work?
Yeah.
I thought you have to spend coins on that one, isn't it? Anyway, after the photo recognition stuff and all the rest of it, that's tin foil hat time, isn't it? Anyway. Can folks find 144 scale gear for Airliner kits 3D printed in sturdier than resin? I assume there is 3D printed ones online if you check the usual places for them. But the trouble is, don't forget, 3D printed stuff, depending on what you're printing, in what material, probably won't be much stronger anyway. Don't forget, if you're printing in like PLA, if it's warm, as some of our members have found out recently, it does melt. And it doesn't melt, but it will distort. So if you've got especially like die-cast models and things like that, because of the weight of them, it will just flatten the gear. So you do have to be somewhat careful with that as well. So, you know, you might want to do it in sort of more of a nylon resin or something else like that to become a little bit more stronger. If it's just aircraft stuff, then I should think it'd be absolutely fine. But I'm sure there is plenty of ones out there that can do it. But don't forget, 3D printed, unless you're dealing with like, filament printers and stuff like that, is going to be some type of resin anyway. And because of the smallness of the detail, I don't think I could print a 144 gear that would look like gear on an FDM printer. I think you'd have to have a resin printer for it. Don't know. What do you think?
That is tiny, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think the technology is quite there yet, is it? For your printer.
Even on a big 144, a big multi-engine something, it's still gonna be tiny.
Yeah, it's not big, is it?
Yeah, don't know that one, I must admit. Yeah, like John says, ABS like resin for landing gear and stuff like that. Yeah, I think the trouble is obviously if it liquid resin wants to do it like that as well, your chances are you'll need somebody who knows what they're doing, because it's going to be very, very fine, very, very fiddly. So that'll be a little bit of a problem. Arthur's late because it's only 5:25. Well, we can all make excuses, Arthur, but we'll let you off this once. And what else have we got? Phil, are you going to be building the new HK 148 scale DB7? So you've been the boss then? Probably not at the moment, because obviously I'm a bit bombered out. I've been doing a lot of bombers and medium bombers and that, because obviously we only did the B26, is it?
Yes.
Yes, recently. Yeah. But, you know, to be honest, when I did the review of it, I did like it. It is quite cool. I'll probably do it in the British markings if I did it, because it's got camo instead of drab. But yeah, it is quite a nice one. But if I'm honest, if I was to do one, I'd probably do the A20, the one that John's doing, a mini version of his. Because I prefer the strafer type nose on them rather than the bomber version.
That's the one. You want the A20G, don't you? Or the J. The J or the G, is it?
Is it the J or the G? Which version you got, John? What's yours?
The G.
The G. Yeah.
All the guns and cannons, yeah.
Because they get the cool nose arts. They had all the, you know.
Yeah, that's what also I was thinking about, with all the nose art on them and stuff. So yeah, but I think the Boston's quite a nice job for the bomber version. But I think if I was to do it, I'd probably want to do the strafer. You know, again, it's one of those. When I did the B25, yeah, I think I'd rather, because you did the strafer version, didn't you, Matt, for the B25?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I did. You know, yes.
Obviously, I did the bomber version with all glass, but I think I prefer the strafer versions. I think, say, from a nose art point of view and stuff like that, I think it's just a little bit better to look at and more interesting than the sort of bombers and things. But don't get me wrong, it's a great kit. And if you did want to do one like this, then yeah, absolutely. Yes, very nice indeed.
They always look better tooled up, don't they?
Yes. Right, okay. Morning, Gordon from Ayrshire. Richard Howie, any news on the release date for the Border Models HE111? Few weeks. I'll say it because it's if you're into aviation flight simming, you'll know, like, 2-week joke. Yeah. Everything's 2 weeks away. It's that thing. So, yeah, 2 weeks. We don't know. Again, it looks very nice. I can't wait to do a review of one. I think it will look fantastic. I'm not going to build one before everyone starts saying, you're going to build one, because I've built a 30-second one a few years back now. But yeah, it's massive. That's still going to be a hell of a lump.
You know, that few years back, that was over a decade ago.
Oh, right. Don't do it.
Yeah.
When I was young and had eyesight. It probably would have been. Yeah, you're right. It's one of the first ones I built when I moved into this house, and that was 13 years ago.
Well over a decade ago you built that.
All right. It is free to watch now on YouTube.
Time to tackle another one.
They are big. Because the trouble, the HE111s, it's that thing about the wings are so big on it. They're huge. They're all wings. You know, the fuselage is quite slinky, really, but they are massive wings. And when you're dealing with them, like the 30-second one, I remember doing it, and it went to Telford with us as well. You know, and I gave it away, wouldn't it, as a bit of a prize?
Yeah, you did, yeah. Hey,
because I had nowhere to put it. Yeah.
Talking of big kits, I was talking to John the other day. Last weekend, I was on some auction site looking, and I was bidding on a B36.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
monster.
I know. I didn't win it, but yeah, I was like.
Is that the old Italeri kit?
Monogram
kit. Sorry, yeah, the monogram peacemaker. Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of them I did own a long time ago and sold it, and then yeah, I don't know. Do you know what it is? Because I've seen that one at Mosson this year.
Yeah.
And then I've got wall space. I've got a nice
you can hang it. It would make a great wall hanger. Even I could get one in behind me. So yeah.
It needs re-releasing because prices of them are just ridiculous at the minute, second hand.
I reckon if they release it, the prices will be ridiculous. There's a lot of plastic.
There is, but there's a lot more stuff out for it now, though. As in upgrades, you can actually get a mass set. Somebody does a mass set, which was never out when I had mine. Which again, that sort of domed glass thing. There's a lot of windows in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think you can get Metallic Details, I think, is the other company that does stuff for it as well. So I don't know if it's engine detail and stuff you know, and wheels, stuff you'd see, not just like random stuff that's
Oh,
no
my
good.
daughter, because the dog's barking at me.
Dog's barking, but yes, it was kind of there until it weren't, and I lost it. But there you go. I tried. I did try.
You never know. Santa might bring you one. Then a bit like the Boston. Then you got to build it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got things to do. I have got a bit of a confession though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was building this. I was building this.
Yes.
And I put it all up on our Facebook page and everything. I'm like, yeah, get some decals on it. Guess what?
What?
Painted it wrong colour. Completely. That dark green should be grey.
Oh.
I have no idea how I've done it. Because it should be 74,
you've done it back
70.
to front? Oh, right.
No, that colour's right.
Yeah.
That colour should be the light grey 70s,
oh,
74,
right, okay.
75 job.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Which I have got as well. I have do you know, I don't even know what colour that is. It is an RLM colour, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know how I've managed to do it. So I'm in a bit of a predicament because I've obviously decaled it now.
Well, you have to go round the decals.
Well, yeah, I did think that, but then that's probably easier said than done. I don't know. Yeah, I can kind of mask some of it off, but again, I've got little stencils on it and all sorts on the back. So, and they ain't going to stay off on under tape. I don't know. And obviously, I've done the wings as well. Look.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the dark should be light grey or grey.
Oh.
Yeah.
You not reading the instructions properly, see?
I did read the instructions. I just didn't read the jar on the thing, did I?
Mind you, was that the Revell boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always use their crappy paint call outs anyway, don't they?
Well, this is it.
Well, they've got. Yeah, look, it says there. Look.
Oh, you've got the RLMs on it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just 74.
So you
75.
can't even use that as an excuse.
I can't. No, I've got no excuse. I have absolutely got no excuse of why I've cocked this up big time. To be honest.
John says, do the reveal photos in black and white.
Yeah, here's the look, right? The 75. Which one? So the 75. Hold on, I might be the other way around. My apologies. But that's the 75 anyway. Look.
Right. Yeah, it's grey.
And that's the is that the 74?
See, look.
Yeah,
it's the German colour system has failed you. Yeah.
Oh, these have failed me. I'm just, you know when you just like double checking yourself. But yeah, I think I've because looking at other builds, it looks a lot greyer. The 75. So yeah, I don't know. I'll put it to one side like it has been for how long.
You'll be fine. The Luftwaffe people, they won't know the difference, will they?
Yeah, it's not as if the Luftwaffe pick holes in everything.
No.
You know, I think you should take that to Telford. You'll be fine.
Do you know where it might be going? A long flight into the dustbin. This. After all, I've got a lovely quinted cockpit.
I was going to say you've done a nice cockpit on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't you just, not being funny, spray over it and then redecal over the top, get another set of decals for it?
I don't like decaling. This was a pain in the arse to decal this as it was. And I quite like my wasp on the front.
Yeah, no, wasp came out all right. He conformed well.
Well, no, from our camera, you ought to see it a bit closer up. It needs a bit of touching up. I don't know. I'll get round. I'll think about it. I can get myself out of it, but I just need to just take a step back and just have a break, and then I'll come back with a fresh look later on, probably over winter.
Yes.
Yeah, not my finest moment actually. I don't think. Got a visitor. What's up with you, dog?
I was going to say, mine's doing already. She's staring at me behind the patio doors, barking at me. So she should be right now. Gordon's asking, I attempted my first ever airliner model. Does any company do British Airways blue?
Attacker do blues, but I don't know if it's British Airways. They do a lot of insignia blue. And come and say hello, dog. There you go. Again, that could be like one of them white enzyme, is it? Enzyme.
White enzyme.
I was just thinking that.
Enamel. Yeah. It's a bit specialist, isn't it?
I bet Humbrol back in the day used to do it. One of their discontinued colours, it would have been. I'm guaranteed they would have done British Airways blue.
Don't know. That's one for chat because I don't do airliners. So
no. Don't know. Extra colour. That's a good shout, Carl. Yeah, and John. With John and that are saying about extra colour, probably a shout. They do stuff like that if you can get hold of it.
Talking of extra colour.
Yes.
Actually, talking of extra acrylics, I think that's gone.
Well, this is it. I don't think they sort of bother with it. That's why I mention it. I don't want to say that because I don't want to speak for Hannants, but obviously it's Hannants brand. So, but it's really sporadic when they get it. So, extra colour X322 BA World Scheme Blue.
There you go.
Or apparently Model Air do it as well. AV 71004. Thank you, Clint.
Those available then.
So you could get it. Yeah, no, you're okay. You're fine.
I thought they were just white drain pipes.
Okay, what else have we got? Hello from Bangalore. How does one avoid sandpaper orange peel while airbrushing acrylic water-based varnish? That's all to do with a series. Shall I bring it up? Because otherwise it's easier to show it than it is to thingy. So if you go to tutorials on the main site, so just go to flooringmodels.org, right? Up the top here, click on tutorials. You'll come down to here. And in basic airbrushing, if you come down into here, I think it's in here, there's a series of videos which I did a couple of years ago now, right, where we've got setting up your airbrush, obviously all the bits you need for airbrushing and stuff, and literally we've got ones about airflow, stuff like that. We've got about mixing your paints down in here, and we've got one here about air, and obviously air pressures as well. And then down in here somewhere, if I remember rightly, what have I done with it? We've got one called textures. All right, so this is a little video and it talks all about why you get texture. And I use my little analogy of sanding sticks here, because obviously if your paint's too thick, when you spray it, it literally sticks. It's dry before it hits the surface, and you end up with it getting a really grainy finish right the way up to, you know, obviously wet paint, because it's got trying to self-level itself out and it goes down smooth and silky. All right, but it'd be a great video to watch because, to be honest with you, I explain it all. And we talk about this gritty effect here that people get, and obviously it leads to texture as well. And then obviously this is because my paint's too thick, too much air pressure, and I'm too far away. All right, next up, this one's down here is a lot better, and I can't remember exactly what order I do it, but we thin the paint more, we move a little bit closer because the paint's thinner, and we turn down the air pressure. And then the last one, which is the nice one down here, you can see really nice soft edges and all the rest of it, still from a distance, but obviously the paint's working well with the actual air and the distance, and you don't get the textured finish to it. But that's a little great video. It's not a massive video, I can't remember how many minutes it is now, but it shows it, but also how to get rid of it. So sanding it back, dusting off your model once you've done it, and everything right the way through. All right, but a lot of it to do with it when you're dealing in that sort of, oops, sorry, wrong one. Thing is to do with distance if it's texture, because it's dry before it hits your model, and literally think of it like hail, it just builds up. All right, when it's raining, because it's wet, it sticks, it self-levels, you know, it's got time to sort of melt in, if you want a better word, and stuff like that. But also distance can come into it as well. If you're too far away, it takes too long to get there. If your air pressure's too high, it's blow drying it onto your model. And obviously it's drying the surface. So as soon as it hits, it's hitting almost a dry surface, and it can't go in as well, you know. And obviously if the pigment is really thick, it can't atomize it to small enough particles that go really smooth. So there's no one thing that's wrong here. It's just a mixture of all three. So it's air pressure, distance, and your mix. So again, if you make your mix thinner, it means you can turn your air pressure down, which means you can move closer. And it's what we're talking about, the basics of airbrushing with the 3. You know, it's all about your mixture, your distance, and your air pressure, you know, so it's just, that's what we're talking about, getting it down there. And obviously there is other small factors coming into it as well. If you get like a 90 degree, the air hits it and then it causes what I call a vortex. So you're getting this circle of air, and it's got particles of paint in this, which are all dry. So if you ever wonder why you get these areas, wing joins especially, things like that, wing roots, and you've got a bead of texture there, that's because the air is doing this as you're spraying it. And again, it's that thing about being quite positive with your painting. Nice good coat, so it's nice and wet, so when it goes down, it dries, it self-levels, and away you go. Again, it's complicated, but watch the video and you can see all about it. It will get you back on track in no time.
It's practice, isn't it, as well?
It is, yeah. We've often said the thing is with airbrushing, it's not just somebody can tell you how to do it. I could sit here, and I used to do lessons, and I've taught many, many people's one-to-one and in groups and all the rest of it. We have full weekends doing it for many, many years. But the thing is, your best thing is just to practice. Have a buster, have something old, and play with it and try different things, because you'll get a feel for it. Because the trouble with airbrushing, and it's one of those areas where I think people don't take into account, but your environment you're painting in can make a massive difference. That's why when Matt was a professional painter, they were in a booth, because it controls your environment. He knows the temperature in there, the humidity, all the things, as we don't have here. So you have to sort of play with it a little bit to make it sort of work a little bit better, you know. But if you're into a nice heated room that's set to a certain temperature and the humidity, and you know there's no dust in your environment, you know, you're basically just whacking down paint, for want of a better word. But it is that thing about getting it into a position where, you know, you can understand why you're getting these little things and just adjust them on the fly. So yes,
I think airbrushing is one of them. I mean, we've discussed airbrushing loads, haven't we? It is one of them where you've just got to practice. However much we can tell you or watch videos or whatever, you've got to do it to get the feel of the airbrush, the, like say, the pressures, the paint mixtures, and also as well, just if you're beginning, just do stick to one brand of paint and learn that brand of paint. You know, because you can fall into the easy trap of buying a load of different manufacturers. That's fine when you know the airbrush and you're quite competent at using the tool, then you can figure it out quite easily. But if you're a beginner, I would definitely say just stick with a brand of and learn that paint system and how that works, which then will help you gain your confidence using an airbrush, and you know what it can do, what it can't do, and you know vice versa, I suppose.
And don't be frightened. Don't be frightened to polish your paintwork. If you get rough texture, just get some really fine grip and do it wet and polish it.
I did it, to be honest, on the 110. I had texture on that, and I before decaled it, I got the sanding pads out and flattened it all back. Not a problem.
To be honest, I do it as a matter of course. It's all the time now.
I was about to say, it's not a bad habit to get into, to be honest, especially before decaling, and that's where I've always come unstuck with silvering, which I should know better, but you get lazy, don't you? You think, oh, I know best, I can get away with this. And actually, you cause yourself 3 times as much work than what you would have done if you'd actually just spend a bit more time.
To be honest, I've spoke about that on there. And again, it's one of those things where by getting your paintwork smooth, and I made quite a big thing of it a couple of years ago, it's such a knock-on effect that if you don't, if you've got your paintwork smooth, your decaling goes down beautifully, your weathering goes on really nicely, and everything that sort of follows after it. But if you've got a rough texture, you know, little things like maybe you want to put a gloss coat over it for decaling, you'll struggle to get a nice glossy finish because you're going over such a really rough texture. So then, even though you've glossed it, that can lead to silvering because it's not as good a gloss as it could be. You know, and then obviously things like weathering, if you've got a really rough texture, just simple washes, even like my wash, will struggle to come off a really rough texture. 99% of times when I get people complain about my wash, oh, I've put it on my model and it won't come off, I look at it and zoom in, it looks like they're going over sandpaper. Of course it's not going to come off because it physically can't wipe it out of all the grooves. It's doing exactly what it should do. It gets caught in the texture, but your texture's so strong, it can't get it out. You know, so again, it's one of those where I know Matt talks about it a lot with his professional painting, especially when we're doing gloss work and stuff like that, is to actually sand back between coats lightly as well, just to take the edge off, so it stops any build up happening. But if you're doing a model which has got, maybe you've gone in with a primer, that's a little bit rough. Then you've gone in with another coat, that's a little bit rough. Assuming you paint a bit like me, it's probably 3 coats of paint. They're getting rougher with each stage. Then you come in with a bit of camo colours everywhere, a bit of post shade. Before you know it, you've got all this texture that's built up onto it. And then you wonder why you got silvering with your decal. It's because you've got canyons underneath it, which are allowing air, and the decal cannot conform and sucker down properly, And again, it's one of those ones that I'm guilty of it. Don't get me wrong, I get silvering still all the time and all the rest of it. But if it's done properly, there's no excuse for silvering at all, because it's just the decal conforming to the surface. Unless you have got a prehistoric decal that is literally dried out and got no gluey substance in it whatsoever, But even like we've done it before, old decals, Matchbox decals, stuff like that, because they have proper glue on them, they always conform quite well. Even though they're 40, 50 years old, they work still, Whereas modern ones, I don't think they put enough glue on them personally. I think they just put it on a sheet and they float almost, and there's no adhesion to them. And that's why you need aftermarket to make them go down well.
Yeah, that's where you need your promoters, in it, your set and sol and stuff.
Set and sol and stuff
settle
like that.
Down and stuff. Yeah.
But I've often said, sorry, go on.
Go on.
I was just going to say, sorry, go.
You go first, and then I'll.
No, right, okay. I was just going to say though. I saw the Monty Python joke about the argument where he goes in and pays a £5 for an argument. And he's like, your time's up. He goes, I haven't had 10 minutes. Yes, you have. No, I haven't. Anyway, so, but yeah, I think the thing is to say modern decals as well, they can lead to silvering because they are done so thin now, and all the rest of it, that they don't have any give in them. Where I say old decals were quite gluey and they would stick really well when they adhered down. These days, without it, without some type of something to settle them down and to glue them down and all the rest of it, they come off. And that's the difference why I had kits, not anymore, I must admit, but that I made as a kid that still had decals on them. Yeah, I've got kits I've had since then, they've come off, because there's no glue to physically hold them on and all the rest of it. That's why decals in the old days went yellow and that funny colour on the backing paper, because they had glue on them, But
yeah, proper
different
glue.
Subject. Yeah, proper glue. Sorry, go on.
I was about to say, I decaled my sea prints the other day. To be honest, I dragged it down from the shelf, and I know with Vallum, because I've learnt with Vallum kits, and anybody doing a Vallum kit, here's a lesson: do not use any decal solutions. You don't need it. They're so thin, and I think they're too thin, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But they do go down, and they will actually just settle in on their own. I think if anything, they perhaps need a little bit of sol just to suck them down, but don't put any set on them because they just disintegrate.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of them with the with decals as well, isn't it? Of learned, it's Dan's daft, but learning the brands of decals.
Yeah.
Not everything's like you could put your set and sol on, or your decal solutions. Some of them you don't need to.
No.
It's probably best to get one you're not going to use and test it on a buster or whatever, and just see how it conforms, how it settles down and stuff. So yeah, just be wary of different manufacturers' decals, because they're all not the same, are they?
No, definitely not. No. 100%
whose
true.
would you say the best now?
What, decals?
What you've used lately, whose decals would you say are good decals?
They're okay. I don't know. Say like ICM decals, I know a lot of people have issues with ICM decals, but I've never had. They just do the job. They go down. As long as you've got a little bit, they work really well with Microsoft Set and Sol. You know, they do tend to work very well with those. But again, sorry, I'm going to have to rescue my dog. I'm going to go and get her and bring her in here because she's just looking at me through the window, barking at me. It's like the house is on fire. It literally is. I'm just going to go and get her. Matt, hold the fort for 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I am holding the dog. God.
I would say Airbrush, because at the end of the day, they use cartograph, don't they?
You're just a fanboy of Airfix.
It's cartograph decals. You can't go wrong with cartograph, can you?
No, you can't, to be honest. No. I think they have been the benchmark for, you know.
They're the benchmark, and they still are.
Yeah. I do totally agree with that, to be honest. Yeah, I've had no problems with doing the. I don't know if they are cartograph, but on the ferret, I know there are many. Can't see really, can you? There you go. But they've gone down. The few that's gone on have gone down fantastic, to be honest. So yeah. But it's definitely not my favourite pastime.
No,
decaling. But if you're doing aircraft, it's what makes an aircraft, isn't it?
It is. And I need to get my head round Edward decals because I'm itching to build the P-51.
Spray them on. Spray them on. Get some masks.
Because some of the nose art that you got on it is really cool, but yeah, I've just got to get my head round them and
stay here.
Work out exactly the best way to do them.
All right, we're back with the crazy one.
Chest piece. Like a pet crash today, isn't it?
It is, I know. This is literally. Come on, say hello. Yes, the puppy's here. Not so small. God, I put her lead on just because I'm worried about her going near the building bit out the back here. Slipped it straight away. I was like, don't bother. Right, sit down, Wiggs. You little git. Right, calm down. Are you excited?
So, Mr. Fellow, going to show what turned up in the post?
Yes. So.
Because I want you to have a look at this Apache.
Yes. Okay.
And we'll talk about Mirage hobbies because I've got this from Mr. Gary at Tiger.
Sorry.
And he said to have a look at it. And we showed it on the PM show on Thursday. And then I chucked it in the post to send to Phil to have a look at because I actually thought this was a rebox of somebody else's kit. And then doing a bit of research, it's not.
Right.
But we were just talking the price point of it because it's like a tenner or something. And obviously with kits going through the roof price-wise, it looks quite good value, to be honest. I'm not saying it's a patch on probably. What's the best Apache 72nd Academies, would you say?
Yes.
Probably now.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't looked even in the box of this, so
no.
We'll interesting. So yes, a live unboxing. Well, look, they do other ones as well. So they do the old A's, and they do a Westland one.
Yeah.
I'll see this one. Ooh. Right, come on in, have a look.
Go on, have a look. I thought you could build it.
What, live?
Yeah, build it live. Did a couple of sprues in it. Not the best box in the world, is it? It's a cheapo bloody.
It is a bit of a thin box.
It's a thin box, yeah.
Okay, so. Oh, I see. Sorry, this is coming up here. Right. So, quick look at the instructions, as always.
Yeah, why not?
Well, there we go. I was going to say, the cockpit drops in afterwards. I thought the cockpit would go in then onto it, but yeah, okay. So, cockpit goes in afterwards. Various bits down in there. Geary bits at the back. Got the gun going underneath. Gear being fitted up. Pretty standard Apache type things.
Yeah.
We got everything down. We've got all your measurements here for putting your aerials. Does it come with a bit of photo edge or something then? Oh no, just must be the aerials going on. Hellfires. And then obviously we've got the millimeter radar on the top. So pretty much as you would think. Colour callouts.
Olive drab. Helicopter green.
Humbrol. Yeah, that's it.
Humbrol.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So, look, it's still sealed. Knife. That's where we get in here.
Live review.
It is. So, you've got some missiles, we've got a duplicate sprue, we've got a single, we've got the glass work. So, okay, let's start down in here. Oh, it's all recessed.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's not too bad actually.
I don't think it is for the money. I think,
How much is it?
About £9 something. Like a tenner.
It has got a sink mark. Terrible. Unbuildable.
Oh, that's it then. That's it.
Bin it. I'm not even going to review it.
Flawed.
Unbuildable.
But it has got textured cushions. Unless I sink marks as well. Not sure. No. It could be actually. But
We'll say
side
texture.
panels.
Just use this texture.
Do you know what's funny though? Actually, that's actually not bad, because that's your power switches, your starters, and all the rest of it, and that's all your lights at the back. So it's not like these are generic. That is fine. So that's the pilots. This is the gunners. So yeah, okay, that's all right.
But no flashes there. It's really nicely moulded, and it's nice styrene as well. To be honest,
yeah. To be honest,
it reminds me of
bad.
somebody's. Do you know what, Phil? It reminds me the styrene of somebody else's, and I can't think what manufacturer it is. Is it Armour? Is that similar to Armour's styrene? Because that's a Polish company. So I'm thinking obviously, or ICM. Is it similar to ICM's?
I wouldn't say ICMs, but I know what you're getting at. It might be Armour. I don't know, because their new ones are real weird, isn't it? They did something different with that one.
Yeah, but forget that. I'm thinking like the original arm mobbies for the crashed and burned.
Yeah. What engine? As I say, it is all clean. There's no real flash on it, and all the parts are all here. They're a little bit basic, as you say, but 72nd.
Yeah. 72nd and a tenner.
And a tenner. Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
I don't think it's too bad, no. But they do some other stuff as well. There's some 72nd armour, and I've actually got as well a little old pre-war Soviet tank, T-26. I was looking at that actually, and that's quite nice as well. The little, and that's 1/35 scale. I don't think they do anything massive, but they do a lot of ships as well. I think like HMS ships as well. So
yeah.
Well, like manufacturers, you don't really think about, but they've been going a while, haven't they? I think Mirage Hobbies, a good few years.
I know on the forum some of the guys are saying about a few nightmares with them, but
yeah, I don't know how it builds. You know, I've never built one, so I don't know build wise, but
yeah. Again, the instrument panel here is an A. There's no D panel in here or any of the laters or the Western one or anything. What are you eating? Yeah. So. And obviously weapons, we've got the pylons, the Hellfires. Little bit.
Do you know what I was on about Mojo builds though? You know, like you've done with
quick builds stuff. Yeah.
Quick build, you know, I've got some spare time and I just want to chuck something together. It's probably one of those, and it's not going to break the bank to do it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway.
Again, I think for a tenner, as you say, it's one of those. It's not bad for a tenner, is it? It's nice, cheap kit. No. Clear parts are clear.
Yeah, you can see through it, can't you?
That's it. I think, again, as a little Mojo build, a little 72nd type thing for a tenner, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. I think so.
Like
I don't think it's bad.
Sorry. Have a look at the decals. So that's what they've done. They've got the more modern with the 2 screens for doing that.
Yeah.
The various bits. So, I think, as I say, for a quick Mojo build or something else like that, it's a bit of a no-brainer. And for a tenner, it's actually really nice. It's recessed panel lining and stuff like that. So, you know.
Turkey shoot build.
Turkey shoot build, yeah. Weekend build, something else like that. I think it'd be absolutely fine for it, you know. So. Yes, that's what you need. Turkey shoot stuff. That'll be next. Got Flory Fest, then the turkey shoot. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think really for a tenner, I think, you know, bit of a bargain. To be honest, I've never built any of their kits. What was that F-16 you sent me that time? That was awful. Who was that by?
Oh God, I can't remember the make.
There is a review for it. I reviewed it and put it out and said it's the worst kit I've ever seen in my life and never spent a penny on it. But yeah, it was awful that was. Yes,
yeah,
really,
I can't remember what make that was. But yeah, that was pretty shocking to say the least.
To say it had flash and the odd ejector pin was an understatement. So so we got that, and obviously this little lump, which obviously I'll do a full review this week on as well, which, to be honest, I did have a sniffy in the box, only because I was interesting to see. Turns out, was it Fujimi did one, 72nd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you man the Hasegawa?
That's the kit. I know. I knew the Hasegawa. That's the one I was trying to think of. I think on Wednesday night or whatever it was. But yeah, no, this one does look particularly nice, I must admit. So it is that typical thing of theirs. But, you know, as I say, it does look like a nice kit. Because obviously is this the first one from Hella?
New Hella.
Since they've come alive again under GMB or whatever there's under them. That's a nice one, isn't it?
I think it might be. I don't know. Or the second. It's one of the newer ones anyway from Hella, a new tool thing, and yeah. So
nice option there. Screw tops one with the flag, which
yes,
everyone's done.
That's very Edward looking instruction book.
It's because it is.
Because it is.
That's a reason for that. Yeah. This is the Hella kit, but it's redone by, you know, we were discussing this. It's quite nice that they've gone back and started doing them again. These are the limited kits. So, Danny, you get a shed load of decals. The mass set, you get a little bit of resin wheels for it as well. But underneath this is the bog standard plastic down in here of Hella. But to be honest, it does look nice from what I've seen so far. But I will do a proper review of that next week. But yes, very, very nice indeed. This is what we need. We need more of the actual limited editions, using some of the best kits out there with Edard's bits in there, because we like those. Go back to their roots of doing them properly, isn't it?
Yeah, that JU88 looks nicer, doesn't it? What we were showing on Thursday. Yeah. I think that's got potential again, because that's a nice kit that they've done from ICM. So yeah, perhaps they're harping back to it, thinking, you know, we'll do that what we used to do. So yeah, interesting stuff.
There you go. Arthur's retired 3 months ago and loving it. Keep busy.
Keep busy, yeah.
Keep busy. Right, Jack was saying he could never get Tamiya to spray. After watching one of my shows during lockdown, I realised that you can't thin it with water. No, that won't work well at all. So he went with lacquer thinners. Mind-blowing change to my modelling, I bet. Yes, that's like night and day. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, that helps when you get the right thinners.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. But yeah, trying to spray with water, it's... Yeah.
You did many years ago, you used to be able to thin it with water.
That was like all the AK paints as well. I remember when these first came along, they were multimedia paints. And you could spray them with everything. And it's one of those things that it annoys me when companies do this. But they sent me, before they got released, I had a load of these sent to me to have a play, a test and all the rest of it. And I did it. And I did off the back of it the review. And we did it with everything, with distilled water, tap water, distilled water, acrylic thinners, proper acrylic thinners. Then we did like alcohols and stuff right the way through to lacquers. It worked with all of them. It was better, obviously, with lacquers, but it did do it with all of them. Then at some point, which they didn't tell anyone, they changed the formula. So it's basically a lacquer paint now. So, yeah. And it was like, what happened to it thinning with water? And people said, well, I tried it and it didn't work. Well, I did it. I showed it. It did do it. I can't help that they've changed it. That's not me. But because they didn't tell everyone they changed it, you know. But I've had people message me saying, your review's crap. Well, I reviewed what I had in front of me at the time. So.
Well, yeah. That's all you can do, isn't it?
Yes. Stefan says, if you send Phil money via Super Chats, you'll be rewarded with extra points and climb the chat rank. That's how it worked on other chats. I've been away. Not for me, though, as I'm skint. Oh, is that what it is? Is that why it says got a goal at the top? What's a goal at the top? I don't even know what that is.
Send us money.
Yeah, send cash. I think I turned that off anyway now. I don't think it even allows that anymore. Because it's too much hassle trying to explain to the accountant where the money came from. What, £18? So really? By the time, because we had that big one that time. Yeah. It was like, you know, fantastic. But unfortunately, I think 40% goes to Google. So, yeah.
Yeah, so
useless.
Yeah.
So then obviously the accountant turns to me and says, so where's it from? Oh, I don't know. Just got a thank you thing. He says, "Got an invoice? No. Receipt? No. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
just
somebody's
happens.
donated some money.
Yeah, it's really difficult. So I was like, you know what? I think I'll turn it off. Anyway, Jim says, "Rise and shine in Chicago," because it was when he did this at 4:30. Thank you for getting up so early to join us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dennis says he's got a B36 to play with. He's got 3 B36s. Wow, you're going to need a big wall to hang that lot on.
He got one spare.
That's it. Phil, what is the next 132nd kit on your build table? The Ronco, my next big project. So we're throwing a lot of this. I want to do it in flight, but it's the member's decision, so I will put it out to them. But yeah, this is my next one, which we're starting this week coming. So good job on that one. I've got a lot of extras for it as well, which would be quite nice. Where are we? Sorry, some of these are older ones. Let me just catch up to where we are. Sorry. Where are we? It's loading here, actually. Sorry, guys. I froze the chat thing so I could read the older ones. Matt, there's nothing wrong with your that 110. It's not like it's bright olive green. It's perfectly acceptable with a greenish grey. So just carry on. It looks superb. Absolutely.
Thank you. It's just I know it's wrong, so it's annoying. That's the problem.
And to be honest, we've all done that thing, haven't we? Yeah. I can't. I'm like you. I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it.
I can't unsee it now. I know it's wrong. That's the problem I've got. Not that I'm not happy with it. It's come out pretty well, but I can't unsee it's now the wrong colour.
Oh, the main thing is we all know it's wrong now, so
and
we
now I've
constantly
obviously
remind
done it
them.
on. Yeah, exactly. So I'll put it up there, the finished one up on our Facebook page at some point, or wherever it ends up, and it'll be like, that's wrong colour.
Yeah,
it's just gonna get
that's
trolled.
the wrong colour. It will. You'll get trolled for it.
Trolled.
Of course you will. Yes.
Yeah.
You can put it up in the titles on the pictures to say, "I know the colour's wrong, but it looks good."
To be honest, I was looking at our chat, and Jamie came up with a good. Ago came up with a good. Just give it a whitewash because they were.
Yeah, winter camo it. Yeah.
Now, I might actually do that. Which would save a lot of hassle.
Yes.
Because I quite like them in whitewash as well, to be honest, because that harks back to the old Matchbox kit. I remember from when I'd been a kid. It's got got them flying over the Eastern Front and it with the whitewash on. So yeah, it might actually be getting a whitewash now after all that.
There you go. Paul says it best though. You're going to get trolled by Nathan.
Yeah, trolled. Yeah. Yeah. I might not tell him and see if he notices.
See if he picks up on it.
Colours.
Yeah, I think you're fine. No, he's too nice to say anything. That's the difference. Nathan wouldn't tell you. He'd let you live in brilliant ignorance that you were wrong.
Exactly.
This is it.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine me tipping up at Telford? Oh dear.
Yeah.
I was actually
queuing up to tell you.
I was actually going to try and get it done for Luftwaffe's sake, but yeah, perhaps not.
Yeah,
perhaps
Nathan won't have it on his table. He'll be like, no.
No.
Our old friend from some of the old shows would be having 40 fits.
He would.
Yeah.
He'd get paint chips out and everything to show you.
Do you know what? It might be worth just doing for that effect and enter it in the comp completely.
The funny thing is, probably no one would notice. You know.
Probably not. If you've not said anything, probably
no one knew anything.
Would they? No.
Yes.
I don't know. There you go.
Okay. Barry says, "Morning, boys. I've always wanted to know when to finish weathering. Thanks." Do you know when? I'll tell you when. The bit where you think I've overdone it. I think I've gone too far. Stop. And literally, I mean properly stop, because I'm the worst one, because I'll be doing something and I've got it and I'll go, oh, I've overdone that. But if I just do this bit to correct it almost, and then it just goes downhill from then on.
You're just chasing yourself with that, aren't you?
Yeah. So from that point of view, I would say the bit where you feel that maybe I've gone too far now, stop there. Chances are you haven't, but that's just your subconscious just saying to you, whoa, slow down a bit here. I think we're getting ahead of it. But yeah, that's what I always do.
I think the best thing to do if you're not sure is get a load of reference pictures and just see how they weather in real life. There's loads of stuff out there, and you know, I think then you get a gauge of where you need to be and where you don't need to be with it, because it's very subjective, isn't it, weathering?
Yes. Yeah.
Again, it's like anything with the hobby in it, but again, it's one of them where obviously like the AKs and the MIGs and the people who sell the products do their books and magazines and whatever, and they've really weathered models in there because they're selling product, aren't they? You know, so if you like that sort of thing,
I think, you know, as you say, with weathering, it's funny how the styles seem to have changed even now in the last few years, because you remember everything went for that sort of, you know, highlighting area, especially on armour, for that giant contrast between bleach to hell and brand new
colour
paint.
modulation.
Yeah, the modulation. Do you see that's calmed down a lot these days? You don't see that as much as you used to, but at one point, because it was done by all the pros out there and they put it in the magazines and stuff, suddenly everyone's doing it. And to me, it looked brilliant. Totally unrealistic. Look, I've never seen a tank look like that in my life. No. But it looked good. It looked really, really good. But again, it's one of those where I was never a fan of it particularly, but it just looks good because it gives good contrast and it makes things pop, and I do get it. But that seems to have died the death a little bit now. And it's a bit like, as well, everyone went through a spell, and I was sort of guilty of it as well, on aircraft, of like bleaching out centres of panel lines. So you'd see an F-16, for instance, and it's bleached to hell. And the only people who ever flew them like that clearly would have been the Greeks. Nobody else would have done it, but they see American ones bleached to hell and faded and all things like that, you know. So that's sort of gone away a bit nowadays. Everyone's a little bit more muted and just being happy with block colours instead of trying to break it up everywhere, you know. So
yeah, the modelling look, isn't it? You know what I mean? Post, it's a lot of post shading, won't there?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely more post than pre. Again, it's a matter of your own taste of what you like, isn't it? You know, I've done a lot of post shading, to be honest, on the ferret.
Yeah.
But the ferret colour is an horrible, just that dark bronzy green, and it's a horrible colour to work with. It is too dark, so you've got to take in consideration the size of the kit, the model, and try and bring some life to it. So it has been kind of colour, but everything will be toned down with weathering on this anyway.
Yeah.
I think you know, I've got it. You know, you go quite a bit lighter because once you start weathering, it's going to darken it anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is well overdone. This is done for the camera, to be honest.
I was going to say, thing is, if you went and saw a real life one in a museum, it would look like that boring, dull.
Oh yeah,
you've just sprayed it straight out the bottle.
Yeah.
When you're doing a miniature of it, you've just got to do something just to bring a little bit of life to it.
You've got to break it up when it's one colour. You know what I mean? And again, once you start layering up with the weathering and stuff, it soon just tones everything down that you think when it's freshly painted looks really stark. But again, that's something your brain kind of stops you from going too far, and sometimes you need to go over that boundary and go too far, because like I say, once you start with the other stuff layering, it tones it down, and then you think, oh, I've lost everything that's underneath it. It's all gone really now plain and dull.
Yeah. I think, you know, the thing is, just going back a step, is that what's nice now is that modelers seem to be more content with just having a really nice built model.
Yeah.
Than chasing that massively over weathered and, you know, like almost the big thing, you know, effect. And I think it looks nicer. Like, you know, I'm not massively on social media, as you know, but I do go around Instagram and stuff, and I get things pop up a lot. And it's quite nice now, because sometimes you see, like, especially because obviously me with aircraft being my main passion, but I see an aircraft and it just looks like a really nice built model, you know. You know, and it's one of those ones where you're not too sure about the scale, and I always think that's really good. Like, you know, is it 48th? Is it 32nd? Then you find out it's a 72nd, and you're like, wow, that's brilliant, you know. But it's not got massive bleached out panels and all the rest of it. It's just a really nice done model. And I, you know, as you say, I've been saying that for years. I prefer a well-built model over a badly built model with fantastic weathering. You know, so
yeah. I tell you what, right? I don't know if he's still into that, but Jamie is a prime example, isn't it? I think he's really I absolutely,
and I know he's on the chat now. Yeah.
Is he?
He's come back from the edge. He's on the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
To be fair, I watched Jamie's channel.
Like his Bolton Paul. I was going to say the Defiant was a classic example. If Jamie had done that, and I know he's on here, so he's going to do it. If he had done that 10 years ago, it would have been a lot more weathered than it is now. But he's calmed in his old age now. So
yeah, he's restrained. He's
restrained
himself
now. Yeah, he has. He's proper pulled it back. But again, I think it looks beautiful. And again, we were talking about it with John. I didn't want to put John into the same bracket or pressure, but as I say, you could use Jamie's for a bit of a look at weathering onto it, inspirational on it, because it is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, it's that one, and I have been watching Jen Wrights as well. She's just done a build series on the Defiant, which was quite good.
It's just like fashion, though, isn't it? Things come and go. Styles come and go. You know what I mean? I did think about doing a video series of like going back and just because I've got loads of reference books here from God knows when, the Dark Ages. You know what I mean? And like obviously like styles have changed over the years, and I just thought about doing a bit of a homage to different people's styles. Do you know what I mean? In a video sort of format. And go, all right, we could start off with this, modeler, say, whatever, from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, from the 2000s, because that's probably when the weathering really started, would you say, 2000-ish?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the internet came along, the weathering came with it almost,
Yeah, and that's like 25 years ago now. So it's a long time. And like I say, things have come and gone, styles have, changed over the years. And just, something.
I think that's the important thing, is try and find your own style, innit? Rather than trying to copy everyone else's.
Well, Spencer brought that up, didn't he? Spencer,
find your own style.
Brought that up of like, you get to model and everything looks the same because everybody was using the same techniques and the same stuff, you know what I mean? And it all was, and he had a point, to be fair. He did have a point where a lot of it was quite same old. Where I think now, again, like you say, things have changed a bit, and
I think also like classic example, and I'm going to blow sunshine up his arse because he's actually quite a good modeler. I hate to say it to his face, and obviously I have to say it because he comes here a lot. But Kev, our very own Kev Smith, classic with him. He comes here, and he's here literally just a couple of weeks ago, and he gets them out and we plonk them down in here, and you look at it and you're just like, Jesus, that's good. And it's the little touches he does. But there's not a single model I've ever seen of his where I think it's over-weathered. They just look right. And I'm lucky enough because obviously Kev brings them to me before they go on to dioramas as well and stuff. Because I know a lot of his become a diorama or he works on diorama. So I see it in its own light because sometimes obviously you need to do your weathering to meet its environment and various things. But he builds them as a separate and then blends them together, which is clever. But every model I've ever seen of his, he brings it in and he chucks it down. It could be a 1/16 scale half track or a 35th scale, whatever. And all of them, there's never ever been a time I thought, it's a beautiful build, but it's over-weathered a bit, or that doesn't look quite right, because it all looks perfect. And I know Kev does the thing of like references, and he builds to a photo, and he does all these things. But again, I think that's very much a skill, because I haven't got that skill, because I know I over-weather in some areas, and other areas probably not enough. But he always has that nice blend of being able to sort of just capture a moment. It's almost like a freeze frame. But luckily, we can look around it and see it in 3 dimensions instead of it being a photograph. Because a lot of it, he does fantastic photos as well, but it never does them justice as looking at them. Because you look in and you suddenly see he's got dirt and grime and oily things going on in places that you can't see with the camera, but it's everywhere on it. And I often think that's a sign of a really, really good modeler, Do you know what,
though? Don't you think Kev's, you can tell it's Kev's?
Oh, absolutely. I can spot Kev's. Purely, but I think it's because of almost that. Is the reason I know Kev so well is that you look at them and they've got that sort of really believable look to it,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Without being critical to other people, because everyone's brilliant in their own ways. But with Kev, he's got that ability that he's almost just taken a photo of it and turned it into a 3-dimensional model. Wait. Shush.
To be honest,
that was me clicking.
Kev model, for anybody who don't know who we're on about Mr. Kevin Smith, Mr. Kev Smith, and if you Google his armour, you know, dioramas, whatever. He's yeah, different level in it. But Kev's even before new Kev, he's always stood out in the magazines and stuff when you've seen them. Or if he was taken, if he's done a show and he's got, you know, because I think he used to like Euro Militaire and shows and stuff like that, and take his dioramas and they've always been outstanding. We had some at the shop, didn't we? We had a few of his dioramas at the shop on display, and they're always, like you say, you just look at them and just, they're just really, really good. Composition wise, everything's right. They just
classic example. This is the old Matchbox kit, you know? Yeah. But it's dialed in, always little touches that he does to it and all the bits and pieces. And this is how old was this kit, the Matchbox one?
God, you know? 50-year-old probably, I don't know.
But it just shows that you can do it to absolutely anything, you know? So
he got his other Matchbox one he did with the truck and the Jeep and stuff, where he made his own base for it. That was
hold on, let me just show this one, because this one's been here a few times, so I saw this one sort of come to. We'll give him a bit of, you know, but again,
the M10.
Yeah, you know, it's little touches that he does all the way around. It's just so believable, you know, like the magazines being stuffed in, you know, and stuff lying around. So what I was talking about, it's all of this stuff which you don't technically normally see, but he goes to that level of detail right the way through. And, you know, again, I know he does under the breeches and things just as well as he does on top of them, you know?
Yeah. But Kev as well, if you don't know Kev, he don't spend a lot of money.
No, he's the cheapest git you'll ever find.
He does it on a proper budget though with what he uses, and it's really interesting, to be honest. You know, when he did that little seminar for us upstairs, and he's like, "Oh, well, I go to the flower shop and get the bedding out of a hanging basket for grass and all that." I was like, "Oh, right, okay." And gravel off my garden or whatever. It's like, well, it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
But no, it is. He's very, very good. What was the other one? What was it? On the start line.
It's a few years ago he did it. He did it for Matchbox March, didn't he? It was the one of the trucks, I think. I can't remember which one it is. It's up there somewhere.
Was it the quad?
No, I don't think so.
That one.
No, that's the. And again, actually, to be fair with Kev as well, he does it with the older kits.
Yeah.
Because he's like me, he prefers the older, less complicated stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the old Tamiya quad with 25-pounder and limber in it. So
yeah. No, very good. Anyway, that's enough of him. He's Eddie will never get out of the room again.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get a message from me. Oh, mate, thanks. But no, worth looking.
Yes, definitely. Very good.
Anyway,
right,
John,
where was I?
Go on, you find questions, because I've got a discussion that we had on Thursday for the PM show, where I was bringing up kits and sort of, complicated how they get in and not so complicated and stuff like that. And actually, it's got pretty good feedback on the comments, to be honest, and people, you know, kind of agreeing, to be honest. And obviously now we've got quite a bit more of a public audience. We'll chuck it out there and go, do you think kits are getting too complicated? Too many bits? Would you like them just to simplify it? You know?
Yes.
So where do you stand on that, John?
They are a little bit, I think. The problem is it can kill the enthusiasm. Like, I mean, that A20 we were talking about earlier is a classic kit. It's a brilliant kit, don't get me wrong. But it's just so involved. It's so involved. You can't. I don't like rushing kits anyway, but a big kit like that, I just haven't got the spare time.
Which is what we were
saying, see it through.
Yeah.
You know, if I was retired, not working, great. You know, you've got whatever time you want to spend on it, but when you've got a limited amount of time to do anything, the big kit, that's why all my big kits that I really want to build are still sat on the shelf.
Can I just stick up for the retired folk here? Because half retired folk have less time they retired than they did when they were working.
That is true.
Everyone I know says that. Everybody I know is retired says I'm busier now than I ever did when I retired. I know.
Yeah. So I think the thought of like I could go in my man cave or whatever, the cave, and do modelling is such a myth. It's just never going to happen.
There is that thing of putting every little detail in. That it's getting a bit.
Also, do you think as well, the other argument to this is as well, say you're doing a kit and it's cost you quite a bit of money, because let's face it, kits aren't cheap anymore. That you feel like you have to take it to the next level as well. We were talking the other day, really, wasn't it, that off the back of this has the enjoyment gone out of the hobby in some ways? Because they're so big and complicated now, and it extends off the back of this, doesn't it? So I'll say it's great, it's like Bandos, chuck it together, no paint, no nothing.
Yeah.
But is it because sometimes, like, with this one, classic example, it's a big kit, it's a lot of money, and at the end of the day, it's one of those ones where you think you need to do it justice, but it's you putting your own pressure on you, because no one else cares. Not being funny, we do that thing, show our partners, what do you think? Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, thanks. Brilliant. That's like 80 hours work in that. You could sell it a bit more, yeah, that's it. But, we're all guilty of that one, saying to people, the only people that ever appreciate your work is another modeller. Everybody else is like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah, anyway, good. You're like, Jesus, there's like 80 hours of my life gone in that. And you say it's nice. I want balloons, flags, and a fly past. It's...
yeah. And a knighthood.
Yeah, and a knighthood for that. Yeah.
I don't think as well. It's not just the kits getting complicated that is necessarily an issue. It's the amount of aftermarket you can get now as well. And you just, even though you say, right, I'm going to buy this kit. Just buy the box and I'm going to build it. And we've all done it. You think, that don't look very good. I wonder if I can get, an extra little bit for that. And then you start, before you know it, you've spent more than twice as much as the kit on aftermarket stuff. And a quick couple of weeks project turns into 2 months.
Yeah, definitely.
John, your Wellesley build, the Matchbox kit.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it.
Why did you enjoy it? I bought aftermarket guns for it, aftermarket engine for it, decals, which I'll mention a bit later. I didn't use the engines. I didn't use the gun. The decals I did because the kit ones were absolutely shot. Yeah.
And luckily I found that company that does identical replacement decals that Matchbox did.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. The little fairy battle, I did build that straight out the box, and I did really enjoy it. Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about not getting bogged down with the. And again, I think you've got to think of scales. Like the 30-second, your 30-second A20. Yeah. I actually think that's probably justified for the detail because of the scale. I don't see the point of putting all that into a 70-second kit.
No.
You know what I mean? Things that probably a 70-second kit would need, I'm talking aircraft here, is a set of seat belts. You never see an instrument panel, do you? Never see an IP, because, they're so tiny. You very rarely see much of the cockpit full stop, which is what we like as modelers. We've created this sort of mess that we're probably getting ourselves into, because when back in the day, we were, we could do a better cockpit because we just got the floor, the seat, and a stick.
Yeah.
And then obviously, it's progressed, hasn't it, with time of like how complicated they get because of technology's moved on and design's moved on and all that. We said on Thursday, but sometimes it's just nice to hop back to a more simpler time of just building something as a curbside model, as we were saying on Thursday, weren't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think, to be honest, we've brought this upon ourselves as modelers, because obviously if you go back in the day, and we often talk about the monogram Century series and stuff,
monogram kits,
monogram kits, they're beautifully created. If they were like recessed panel lines, they would be as good today as they were then. It's only because a lot of them are still of the raised, but if you look at the detail inside them, Like, so when I did the Voodoo, I know the Voodoo quick quite well, but the detail in the cockpit, in the seats and all the rest of it is as good as anything you'd find today. The difference being is that's in one part. Whereas obviously nowadays that's made up of 50 parts and you build it all yourself and put it in. But in those days they managed to mold it off in one, but these days apparently not. You know, so you've got those. But if you look at a monogram kit, just the way it goes together, it was a simpler time with through tooling and various things like it. So, but you know, they achieved amazing things with those kits, which were all done in the 80s and well, early 90s,
70s.
maybe 80s, but it's 70s in some of the cases.
Yeah, 70s and 80s, really.
But if you look at one of those kits from a kit part point of view, you're probably looking at a couple of sprues. And you're good to go. So from a build point of view, you put it together quite quickly and then you go on with it. But nowadays we've been climbing for more and more detail and stuff. And I've been as vocal as everybody else about that. Oh, we'd love to have this detail, love to do that. And the manufacturers clearly are listening. And obviously they're not just in competition with us, they're in competition with all the other manufacturers. So one of them starts to add a load more detail into it. You know, like, I don't know when engines started to become a thing, but I remember engines used to be, if it was a bomber, it'd be a plate on the front with some molded in pots, which you would like, it was a bulkhead basically, you know, and it went on with a pin out the front and you put the prop on. But nowadays, most things have got a full engine of some description, like ICM's a nice way of doing it. It's not overcomplicated, but it has got a full engine detail. But that's the norm. And also things like in cockpits now, I don't understand why seatbelts have been missed out still, because again, it's the thing like we were saying before, you see, because you're looking through the freaking window and you're going to see harnesses and belts. But for some reason, nobody still really does it. But they're quite happy to put a fully detailed, you know, zoom set type cockpit into it, which no one can see because it's rounded in. And unless you're standing on your head with a microscope, you can't see it anyway, you know, or inside the turret of something, you know, on a bomber. Yeah. It's got fully detailed, can't see any of it because I'm looking in at it, not out at it. But again, they forget the basics of like a nice seat, a really good seat. And this goes back also to when I used to do all the commission stuff. It used to be the standard thing. I'd replace the seat with an aftermarket seat, probably because obviously the level of detail, but it's what people see, you know, even if it's got a closed canopy, you look in, you can see it. So you want a nice canopy that's dressed with some harnesses and various bits and pieces. And when I did commission work, nobody asked me for a pilot, or very, very rarely asked me for a pilot in it. But if you said to them, like the seat, the standard seat's just got nothing on it, it's just literally flat plastic, there's not even any texture in, you know, but for the sake of a tenner, I can put you in a resin seat into it, all of them would go with it. You know, so that's why I used to order bucket loads in the day of true detail. I'd have 25 of each type of resin seat kicking round. So, because when I was doing the commissions, it would be like, you know, obviously for the Hasegawa kits in those days, so you'd have it for the Skyhawk, the Corsair, you know, Corsair 2, the Tomcat, Phantoms. You'd always have those seats kicking around for it because it's what they really need. But for some reason, manufacturers still to this day don't give you any type of harness. Even if it's molded in, it would be quite nice. You know, it's so rare, my war cry now is manufacturers. You're always doing this thing about multiple options, right? Why can't we have two types of seat? A normal flat seat because no one cares. So if you've got a pilot in it, good to go. But the chances are your pilot won't sit in it right because it's not depressed. You know, it's not sunk in. He's sitting on it, perched on it rather than in it. But also give us a back seat with molded in harnesses. So that way you could just paint them up in detail.
Can I just point out that there is one manufacturer that in some kits does do that?
They do, but they don't do it well though, do they? They still do that thing of a couple of harnesses. You don't have them where they're sort of lying around in the lap area, you know, and stuff. Like let's face it, resin seats, if you've got them moulded in, they're always done really nicely. With the way injection moulding is now, I'm sure they could just knock that out as a part, or just two parts, a base and the back cushion, and put it in. Or even that, just have a texture to them almost instead of just being flat. So forget all your detail everywhere else. I want that. Bridget, if you're watching.
It's just wired into modelers' brains now to like I say, aftermarket and everything. Because that's the ironic thing is my builds, I don't like them with every panel open. Don't even necessarily go for open cockpits. Because I think it just spoils the lines of the aircraft. Yeah, I'll still go and buy a little bit extra to put in the cockpit, or I'm getting better though. My only exception now is I always look for gun barrels and pitot tubes. master, for example, because that does make a difference to the final look of the kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it is, you know, all resin, all 3D printed wheelbase now and everything, and you don't ever see it.
No.
You know?
No. I think, you know, again, it's one of those ones, again, we'll start on a thing now and, you know, suddenly we'll see kits coming around with detailed seats and all the rest of it, and it'll be that's another area. But, you know, like we were saying, I know we said on a show many years ago now that is aftermarket almost becoming a thing of the past, because kits now are getting so good that they're coming now with, you know, you don't really need aftermarket because, say, and we are talking obviously the AAA titles and things like that, but, you know, I always hark back, especially to the, if you remember when I did the Mosquito, the Tamiya 32nd scale Mosquito, the kit I think back then was something like 100 quid, and I spent 240 quid on resin for it. So we had a new cockpit, new weapon, new bomb bay, new engines. It was more in resin than it was for it. And then afterwards, I did then turn around and say that I should have stuck with the kit parts. If you'd stuck with all the kit parts there of a good enough level, you would have really not noticed the difference. You know, some areas I would struggle as a modeler, like the instrument panel. I think I put in one of those Yuma ones into it because they're really nice as well. So for me, trying to do like the yellowy bit round dials, and yeah, it's easy to just get an aftermarket one and shove it in. But things like the engines, you know, they were, when I bought it, you couldn't buy one engine, you could only buy the pair. So we had the pair of those engines and they were resin, and then they fitted in and they were lovely, incredibly expensive, but the kit ones are pretty much there. All they needed was the wiring and good reference photos and a bit of wire, and jobs are good, you know? So yeah, that is the thing.
What doesn't help, you got, I mean, just look beside you, that res kit cockpit you've got for your Bronco, you see the stuff they're producing now, and that is just a work of art on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. And they bring out so much of it now because it's all 3D.
Yeah,
they're kicking it out, and they bring out some real weird stuff as well that is good because there's none of it around. So don't get me wrong, but there's so much of it as well. 3D printing, everyone said about 3D printing will never take off. All the aftermarket stuff now is very, very few now which are resin, you know, and it's that thing about that even if it's resin, it's 3D printed and designed and all the rest of it, you know, even if it's still cast, because it's just so fast now that they can rapid prototype, change things, and that shows things like ResKit bring out, every time Hans gets a delivery from ResKit, it's another 100 items on their list, you know, of stuff that they've released. There's a ton of it.
Them in metallic details, I think, so the ones who do a lot. But I mean, I've had more enjoyment this year building the older kits, and I mean some older kits as well, than some of the newer kits, like I said on Thursday. Do you know what I mean? Just, I don't know, just perhaps that's where I am at the minute in my modelling career.
And that's also the thing as well. I think sometimes you get, you know, and I've done it as well, and I haven't done a real big project for a while now. I suppose the Halifax was the last one, so that was over a year ago. And Halifax had its own challenges and things as well. But again, it's one of those where it's quite nice sometimes to take a step back and do the small semi-second something, perhaps not even a painted job, you know, snappy type things and all things like that. Because it's, like we said yesterday, it's more of a mojo builder. You know, on Thursday night show, you've got something in it. It sets you up for your next build. And like I was saying with the bike, because there's no paint and there's no weather in theory, I should hate it because that's what I love. But I've enjoyed that immensely, as you can tell. But what it's done also, it's set me up nicely for this because I feel like that's good. I'm good now. And I know this isn't going to be a walk in the park, and I know it's got problems, but it doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, if I just done something really big and then I'm going into that, you're like, oh, Jesus, here we go again almost, you know? And again, that's where we're talking about perhaps the pleasure side of this as a hobby as it is for 99% of us, you know? You need that. And people often say to me about, like, you know, because it's my job, and it's my hobby as well, how do I cope? And it is still that thing that I'm lucky because I've never sat in here and thought, God, I can't be arsed, I don't want to make models, or I'm daunted in doing that. I did when I did the commissions, and that's why I gave up doing the commission work, because obviously I was being, you know, asked to do the same thing all the time, and you're like, I don't want to do any more of those, don't make me do it, but it pays the bills. But you know, again, it's one of those where as well, I think in this hobby you need a certain amount of sort of passion for it and enjoyment out of it. And there's so many distractions out there, like YouTube, gaming, all the other bits and pieces as well, Lego. You know, and that sometimes, but the great thing about the hobby, if you notice, people always come back. It's like a drug dealer to them.
It's always there.
It's always there. People are like, oh, I'll come back to it. I've still got all my stuff,
always,
you know, even if they've done it for a while. There. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what inspires you now to keep you inspired?
I know, and it sounds stupid, and it sounds like I'm just harping out, but it's like you guys and the Flory family and the members, and obviously the YouTube people as well. That's what inspires me, because there's still that nice buzz about it. People get excited, and obviously when a new release comes out, people get, oh, have you seen the new one coming out, and all the rest of it. And then obviously you look at it. But again, for me, the inspiration comes from also things I watch on YouTube or on the telly and stuff like that, and I'll see something about. I was watching one the other day about the gannet. Weirdly, it's one of these Pathé news jobs.
Oh, and
yeah. It was talking about the gannet and all the rest of it, and obviously going through its life and that. And I'm thinking, got the gannet, should do that because that's cool, isn't it? And all the rest of it. And then I saw the next video I saw was the one that's stranded in the US still, or is it in Canada now, isn't it? It tried to come across and it went back to that engine trouble, and they're still trying to get it back over here. If it ever makes it, I don't know. But again, it's that thing about, it's quite, I might have to do a gannet. And again, you've got that sort of inspiration to sort of do it. The group builds and SIGs help as well, but obviously seeing other people's work, I think we feed off of each other, which is quite nice, because you see things and you think, oh, I'd like to have a go at one of them, or I quite fancy building one of them, and
absolutely.
What's your inspiration?
Mine at the minute is, I've got a few actually, but more people who take older kits and bring them up to a modern standard in a way. Yeah. Because to me, it's like how I wanted my kits to look when I was a kid, and they never did. You got in your mind's eye, haven't you? How you would like your kit to look. Yeah. But obviously back then you didn't have the skill set, probably the tools or anything to but I knew in my head how I wanted it to look still. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, you see people doing it with some of the older kits. I'm like, oh, that's how I wanted that to look when I was 10 or 12, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm you know what I mean? It's like when I did the Sea King. It's not a great kit, that Sea King, at all. But actually, I was really happy with the way it came out, the old Airfix Sea King. Not perfect. There's better kits out there by a long way. More modern kits where I could have built one of them and probably got the same. But I don't know, just a bit of satisfaction with that. With doing, like I say, bringing an older kit up to using modern techniques, shall we say. It's not even rescribing it, taking all the raised detail off, because I'm not bothered about that anymore, where I used to be. I've got over that, raised detail's bad. No, it isn't. You just work with it, don't you? You just run with it. And, you kind of put into the kit, I think, the time it deserves as well, without going over the top, where it just becomes a labour of love, really, and then I'd lose interest. But yeah, I've got some projects in mind that I won't mind tackling after I finish the ferret. Not overly complicated stuff.
The thing is, with those older, more simple kits, is generally they do actually go together rather well.
Yeah, most of the time. Then it's always the clay pots, I think, isn't it? I've said this a load of times. It's like with limited run kits and with older kits, it's always the clay pots that are a bit of a letdown. Everything else you can fill sand, you can do whatever with them, can't you? You can get around it one way or another. Clay pots are a bit of it without sort of casting your own or getting some VAT form aftermarket, which a lot are available, to be fair. You're kind of stuck with them. And that can be the letdown, can't it? You said it with when you built that Matchbox Phantom, the canopy just doesn't look right.
It just is awful. Yeah, it doesn't look anything like
just
a Phantom
the shape
because
of
of
it.
it.
You can see that, but you wouldn't. But 10-year-old you wouldn't have known that.
No.
That was a Phantom, and that was one of the kits I had, and that was one of the coolest. The coolest kits I had, that Matchbox Phantom. I want to know what shape it.
No,
care less.
I've never seen one in real life, so.
That was a nice time because it doesn't matter.
It's an age of innocence. Yeah.
It was, yeah. You didn't know any better, did you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
and that's the thing as well, isn't it?
The engines are a bit...
We've often said about rivet counting and all the rest of it, and I get it. And again, if you are a rivet counter, I appreciate your work at pointing out it's wrong, because it makes manufacturers strive to do better. Because otherwise, everyone would just say, "Oh, it's fair enough." Like the Phantom, yeah, it's fine. Anybody who actually looked at a Phantom and looked at that would know it's not fine. But back then, someone didn't care because it looks awful. But again, it's one of those ones where if you can get bogged down in those details, I think it spoils your build. Instead of just enjoying it, and that's what we're getting at. With the simpler kits, you don't have as many things to go wrong as well. So
don't try and correct it. Just
don't try and correct it. Just go with it. Yeah, go with what you've got.
Build it for the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
And then you can go on to the more, like you say, with the Bronco or whatever else.
Yeah.
They're nice little, like palette cleansers, as I call them. But yeah, just take them as they are, when you would have built it as a 10-year-old or however old you would be when you were doing it. And then it's
that thing though. Is there a mentality now where you buy a kit and before even you open the box, you're going on the internet and everything, and you're looking for all the faults with it?
And very, very true. Yeah.
Before you've even opened the box up.
Yes.
Oh, kits are condemned before they're even out. Kits are condemned on the internet before they've actually even been released half the time, and that's another issue for another day, because that's a proper bugbear of mine, to be honest. Because that's just bashing for the sake of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I know where you're coming from, John. But then, why would you buy it? Because I mean, we've had a go at Revell, haven't we, for releasing some dross and reboxing it. Yeah. So it's not like all of a sudden 50, 60-year-old kits are the new thing, because they're not, because they are pretty of the day, aren't they? And that's where they've got to be put. But I think, we've always said, at least with Airfix, they put the vintage classics on it, so it's an older kit, and it's not a fancy new box with fancy decals and all this, but it's a 55-year-old
kit. Yeah.
What are you barking at? I don't know, the dog barking. It sounds like somebody's here. But yeah, but that's the good thing about the internet, because you can do your research, can't you, and go, oh God, that was first tooled in 1964.
Yes. Yeah.
And not,
That was always my bugbear, though, years ago when Airfix were doing nice flashy box art, and you've got a 70s kit inside it. So at least now they're using the original box art, which is quite nice as well. And they've actually got classic kits. So you know what you're sort of letting yourself in for when you do it. And like we said before, the great thing about those is a bit like Matchbox kits. You're not building them actually for what it is. It's more the nostalgia in a lot of cases. I'm not building 100%. It because it's a Spitfire. I'm building it because it's the same Spitfire I did as a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing to it as well. And like we said before, it's a bit like when I built that Halifax. A 48 scale Halifax sounds like it's a dream kit, but as we know, it's a nightmare kit. But to me, it wasn't that it was ever going to be perfect, because I said from day one, if you're looking for perfection, do not watch this video, because I'm just going to put it together and get it together in a good, reasonable amount of time to a good standard. But it's not perfect. It's never going to win an award and all the rest of it. And that's why I thoroughly enjoyed that build. I think if you were a rivet counter and you had to correct everything on that kit and go through, you're either mad or you've got a lot more time than I've got, and staying power to stay with that kit and to see it all the way through to the end and all the rest of it. And I get it. There are people like that. I'm not one of them. My attention span doesn't stretch that far, But again, it's one of those where we said you go in with your eyes wide open. It's not nice. It's got problems, like old kits in general. But they still make up to be fantastic kits and some really interesting subjects that aren't around these days, and various things as well.
But I think as well, they push your skills a bit, because they need a bit of modelling know-how to
the basics. You need the basics.
To get round it, the basics. Which again, with modern kits, they just go together, most of them, don't they? Because they are that well designed, to be fair. So, it just takes a bit of thinking rather than just assembling, To be honest with you, I'll go, we'll use his red box wall behind him as a good... I think, actually, Airfix have got a nice balance at the minute of detail to buildability.
Yes, I would say
because we always go back to Tamiya's P51, don't we? Their 48 P51, which we've probably all built.
Yes.
And again, is such a nice kit. such a nice kit to do if you're not bothered about engines and you know,
one,
mega detail. That one there, and most of their range from the 90s, to be fair, but that one was the standout, weren't it? Even though I failed to build it, as I've said. I failed.
You're the only one.
I might have to, yeah, I did. Yeah,
revisit that one.
Right. I failed with painting it, to be honest. That's where it fell to pieces. But no, I did build it okay. But yeah, I don't know where I was now. I've lost my train of thought. Carry on, Phil. Phil, quick, jump in.
Jump in.
I was off on a tangent.
Building the older classic kits, as you say, you know, that's a kit we talked about on one of our shows recently, and we're going to do a proper show on it as well, about all-time classic kits. That's mine. I jumped in there quick because I don't know any others. But that Mustang, 48 scale Mustang, used to be $9.99 back in the day. I know it's a few quid more now. But it was a classic example of fun build. It goes together really quickly. You can have it. It's a good weekend build almost, you know, and all the rest of it. So the fit is excellent. You know, there's not many parts, so it goes together really, really nice. And you can spend as much time on it as you want then in the painting and the weathering and all the rest of it that goes with it. But generally for me, it's a classic standout kit, because I remember building it back in, would have been the 90s, early 90s, and thinking, wow, because I'm used to sort of Airfix and Revell and all the other ones. That was the first proper Tamiya kit I built. And it was like, wow, it was strong. It was sturdy. It felt like it had gone together well as well. It's not like a bit wobbly, you know. And again, it was a thoroughly enjoyable build. Commission days then, roll on a few years, I built loads of them, because I used to get them from, and I will shout out to him for Vince, at Models for Sale, because he used to let me have them for £7 a pop. And literally then they'd find their way up onto eBay, put one as an advert, and then build 10 off the back of it for commissions. And it was just a really enjoyable, straightforward build. Plenty of decals available for it, you know, for marking options and stuff, aftermarket as well. You know, just really, really nice. And I think that is the thing. And also we were talking about modern kits nowadays, you know, the tolerances you're dealing with, because they're that good a fit. You don't have the basic modelling skills, and I think they're somewhat perishable, like sanding and filling, or filling and sanding. Yeah, a wing root, for instance, you know, because most kits, modern kits, don't have a problem like they used to. You know, all old kits, you put them in a jig and you got one wing like this, one wing like that, and they're now level. Unfortunately, you've got a gap running down one wing that you need to fill, and putty or plasticard it, or whichever you're choosing medium is. But you'd always have that problem where it's like it needed something doing with the old ones, you know. But when you're a 10-year-old kid, you don't care. I don't care if I've got one wing like this and one wing like that, you know. It's like close enough. Yeah. You know, and again, I think it is a little bit of the enjoyment, but I just feel that on the bigger kits, the heavy duty kits as well, that all of us are guilty of just wanting that sort of perfection and going down that rabbit hole to get that. So if it means a bit of scratch building, which again I think is a lost art, because you don't really need it anymore, you're just getting aftermarket kit for it. Whereas you say, you go back 20, 30 years, wasn't around, so you'd have to scratch build it. You know, like how many people now have a ton of plasticard to make things from? You know,
plasticard, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's very,
but you
very
mean, but modern modelers probably don't have tons of after bits and stuff for just those types of jobs, because you don't really need it anymore. You know,
just going back to scratch building, right? You know, in the YouTube world, because there's loads of channels of people building models and stuff, isn't there? But actually, do you know, people scratch building and actually showing how to scratch build. I bet there's not a lot. There's hardly anybody doing it. Or if they do put it in a kit, it's kind of, they don't really show it. Does that make sense? It was like, it's kind of gets skipped.
Do you remember? It used to be that thing, wasn't it? You do that thing, and yeah, as you say, because we're getting old now. But you do a little bit of scratch building, and because it would be in like white plasticard and bits of metal and cable, you could see it. But as soon as you put paint over it, it disappears. It becomes part of the model, which is what you want. But in some ways, like I've often said, you used to get the photos when things were covered in photo etch, like a tank. And you see all the amount of work that's gone into it because it's got covered in photo etch. But as soon as that primer coat comes on, it just becomes a lump again, and you lose it. And it seems a shame to do it because you want to show it.
I mean, I'm of that age now where I can remember as a kid in that, I used to look forward to getting scale aircraft modeling every month, and you'd find someone doing a kit conversion and getting the balsa wood out and carving and
yeah.
Because they had to, because there were no other options. Do you know what I mean? That was the thing, isn't it?
Something Richard just put in chat. Another manufacturer which I think have got the right balance. Is ICM.
Yeah,
ICM.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was going to say
we were saying that.
ICM.
They're good kits. There's all right, no frills in them, but if you want to add the extra, you can.
Yeah.
But they build up perfectly well straight out of the box.
Yeah, we championed them, didn't we, the other day? We did say about ICM.
We said about
a good balance.
I did say,
Without, absolutely.
Without going too far, I always said that ICM are the perfect in-between kit. They're not over the top, so you're not paying for it all, but you've got everything you need to do it. So you have got an engine, even though you've got nothing particularly coming off of it to detail it. But if you wanted to, it'd be easy to go in there with a little bit of plastic or a little bit of lead wire and things like that to give it what it actually needs to bring it up to speed. So, but again, you don't need to do it. So if you don't care about it, you just put it in as it is and just walk away from it. But if you wanted to, you could. And again, the nice thing as well with their kits, they're quite easy to open up to show. So if you want to open up things to show engines and stuff like that, especially, you can do it. You know, they tend to think about that a little bit. It's almost like they're made for aftermarket in a lot of ways. So, you know, just to be dropping parts into them as well and stuff. So, yeah.
I think a lot of probably modern kits are. I think if they're thinking from a manufacturing point of view, they could keep the cost down because they know everybody's going to jump on it to do this, that, and the other to upgrade it for them. Do you know what I mean? I think it's still only Edward who kind of, but they've always been an upgrade company rather than a kit manufacturing, haven't they? That's how they started, and obviously then they got into kit manufacturing. So to them, it's all in house anyway, so it makes no difference. They can go whichever route they want, from etch to brass to resin, whatever you want to call it. So yes. Interesting
Sorry,
stuff.
just to answer a question, she keeps popping it up. Keith, the size of the unit, I've got a feeling it's 15 it's 15 by 10 or whatever it is. I can't remember exactly. This unit, I can't remember. It's almost the same size as the one I was in before. It's just a little bit narrower. But yeah. But I've got my stash down that end now instead of a window. So I've got a window all down this end instead. I've got the doors. So, but yeah, I think it's, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's something like 5 meters by 2.5 meters or something. So, yeah.
Big enough, isn't it, Phil? Big enough.
It's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. To be honest, as I say, it's just a little bit narrower than the old one was, because what I've gained here from the old studio, I used to sit here because I've extended this bit a little bit longer. So I used to sit, because I know why, because I've still got the tape marks where I used to be. So the desk was slightly this way, so I used to sit here. So I've extended it. It's wider here, so I've got more room between these bits now, and less room at that end. So I've taken a bit of room out of there to give me more room here. So, but yeah, no, it's all right.
Feeling cluttered yet? Oh, it's still all right.
Do you know, I could do with a little bit of a declutter. That's why I need to send you some kits back. But we're still doing all right. I just wish my view was slightly better, because the view's not brilliant. It'll be right when it's done.
It will be by 2027, mate. Don't worry about it.
I know. We were talking to the builders on yesterday when they finished doing the concrete in. I did say to him, how are we doing on the old schedule? Because it's gone out the window now because various things have happened. So they've done things in different orders. He's like, no, we'll still be done to you by the first week in October. I'm looking at that thinking, right, okay. So we're literally just, 6 weeks? So, yes, we will see. But never mind. Apparently the walls go up next week, so we'll be all right.
That'll be
nice.
New
retaining wall. He needs to put the wall in, apparently, to get rid of the soil and all the crap, to bury it. So, yes,
you're going to give the shops a shout out before we leave?
Yes, I will do. Hold on 1 second. Let me just check and see if we've got any more questions just down in here before we go. Where were we? Oh, look, Gary was on.
I did tell him.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was on. That's fine.
Hey, just while we're on, if you don't mind, I want to give a shout out to Gary and his history lessons he's been doing
Yes.
But go check him out. He's really good at it, to be honest, and he's gone through like World War II and different aspects. So yeah, he's go check him out. He's on Facebook with Tiger Hobbies. You'll get the links. I think he's on YouTube as well, but I don't know what his channel is. But yeah, give him a watch and a like.
He's on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Right, okay then. So if you want to look at any of the tutorials, because to be honest, a lot of the questions we get I do cover. It is free to watch. You don't have to be a member or anything else like that. But if you just click on tutorials here, and you've got your basic modeling. So this is about filling, sanding, rescribing, re-riveting, and all the rest of it. If you click in here, it will take you off. And obviously you've got a little photo. These all go massive as well, so you can make them all bigger and, you know, high definition. But you've got basic modeling all the way through, plus the fact little tips and tricks type videos all the way through here, but basically everything. So it's covering all the things you can think about just down in there. All right. Also then obviously we've got your airbrushing ones down in there. So that's basic airbrushing we showed before. Have a look in there if you're new to that. This one down in here is basically about painting and weathering. So we basically go through, this is the Revell 30-second Spitfire. Again, great kit, cheap, and it doesn't take, you know, it just goes together. It's really nice. But we basically go from a
between that and a Tamiya.
Possibly, but I tell you what, not at 10 feet you wouldn't. So, but anyway, this is obviously just straightforward, and then obviously we go through the painting and the weathering stages right the way through here until it's all finished. And then obviously I've broken it down into bite sizes for it. So we talk about obviously all the different sections going down in like oils and all things like that, and go right the way through. So technically you go from that, and we just end up with, we just go through, you see it coming to life with all the different stages, each video to that. And that's how we go through. So again, really, really straightforward and easy to follow through on those ones. So good ones to have a look at. It'll answer a lot of your questions. And we've got some other things down in here as well about some of the classic live shows that I did back in the day, and obviously the quick ones as well. So the little quick tutorials, things like that. Have a look. It's in the tutorials, and as I say, it will answer a lot of your questions as well. And say it is all free to watch down in there. Store is on the way. There we go. So got all your washes, your bits and pieces all down in here as always. We've got a sale still on the actual t-shirts and the polo shirts. We are out of stock of aprons at the moment, but they are on order, so they'll be here very, very soon. I've got your pots as well for your micro-setted sole holders, your glue holders. Nozzles are out of stock at the moment. Jigs are in stock, so if you want to get yourself a jig. The in-flight stands are all in stock as well, because it's printing those all this weekend. And obviously we've got all your display tweezers and tools. We had a big restock come in this week. From Kareem. We've got all the ones down in there as well. So if you want to get any of these ones, got all your sanders. I've got also the last cutting max. I only had these three in. So we had B, C, and D. Now we've got the A one in as well. All right, so that one in as well. Unfortunately, they've all gone now. The limited edition little deal we did, the 20th anniversary for £20, you got all of those bits and pieces down in there. Unfortunately, they have all gone now. Over on the PM store, so travel over to pmmodels.co.uk. Oh no, pmmodelsuk.co.uk, that's the one. In the store, we've got various offers going on at the moment as well. So we've got the Arado. Do you remember everyone made a right stuff about that when it came out? It was like best thing Airfix ever did, wasn't it?
Oh, the Revell one, that was thingy, weren't it?
Huge at the time.
They've obviously re-released it because they've seen the bloody prices they're going for second hand.
Oh, is that what it is?
Like, dug it back out, yeah. So it's back out at more reasonable. It's actually a really good kit.
I was going to say, we're talking these kits. It is in with those other ones they all did. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
They're 30-second range. They're new ones. You say the P40, P51, the Spitfire, the Hurricane, the 109.
190s.
The 190s, it's in the stable of them. They're really good kits.
Yeah,
and we've also got the Yuma Harriers down in there. We've got the Warhawks as well. We've got the Shermans. We've got a little bit of Airfix down in here. I see this is back out, isn't it? They've re-released it again. So that one came out this week as well.
Yeah.
So we've got the Sea King. We've got the Beer Flying Spitfire. We've got the Hawkeye. So obviously I'll do the review of that this week. So that's down in there as well. We've got the Qatari 109. We've got the other Warhawk, obviously the boxings. We've got a little bit of ICM down in there as well. And obviously if you're a Phantom fanatic, this one does have the correct shape canopy down onto it. But we've got the K versions of that as well. So we've got the RAF and the Navy versions down in there. The Catalina's nice. That's the Boston we were talking about with the DB7. Not a Aston Martin. That's a great kit as well. We're talking about classic kits. That's a beautiful kit as well. Built that a few times. I did it for a, was it group build or a SIG or something, turkey shoot or something last year, I think it was.
Actually, I've built that as well. It is, and again, I think that's thinking for the 48th Typhoon, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
It's a proper overlooked
Best,
aircraft
yeah.
in 48th.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
But that's a cracking kit as well. So very nice. Bronco, if you want to join along with me this week, starting on that one, you've got that one down in there. The Revell C Hurricane, that's another classic. Really, really good kit. No problem at all, especially when you're talking for the money. It's actually a bit of a bargain. And yes, and all the other things down in here as well.
All bits and bobs, see?
Nice. Very nice. Don't forget, we've got all your stuff as well. So we've got all your paints, glues, sundries, and all the rest of it. Obviously, those come in and out all the time. So all your various things down in there. So if you want to grab any of those, you can do as well.
Nice.
That's about it for this morning. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined us this morning. Obviously, big thank you to the Flory family. Oh, question. Hold on. PM question. Matt, do you have lots of the Great Wall Hobbies A10As left?
Lots. Wow. How many do you need?
I'd say, do you need a squadron, John?
Yeah.
We can sell you our entire load. So, yes.
Perhaps he is. Perhaps he is.
Maybe. Perhaps he
Chuck
is.
us a message. Chuck us a message, John.
Oh, sorry, Al. Don't panic. Just to answer, somebody's just asking down there. Alistair, yes, I got one. Got one. Courtesy to Mr. Matt. So, yes.
Yeah, they've all gone now. So now
they're all gone again now.
Back, though. Yeah, they'll be back. I found something for a while back, Kitty Hawk and all Panda and all that stuff. So yeah, on another PM show, I will divulge it. But yeah, it should be back. So
fair enough. Good job.
If anybody
very nice.
Would like one. Cool.
Yes. Cool. There you go. Perfect Saturday morning show. Thanks to all. No problem, Jack. Our pleasure as always. Anyway, we will be back with you very, very soon. Hopefully we'll get a few more Saturday shows in between now and that. As to Flory Fest date, I don't know. A lot of it's dependent on that. What's going on out there, not that over there, with the building work going on and all the rest of it. Because obviously, you know, hopefully they'll be somewhat out of the way by then. They're on about finishing second week in October. Hope so. The new kitchen goes in. So they better be. So, yeah. But anyway, I will finalise a date when I know what's going on with various things, because obviously I am probably over in the Netherlands as well around about that time. So I'll have to sort all of that out as we make our way through. Good job. But we will have one. Don't panic. It will be there. And then we've got, obviously, the turkey shoot, which is end of November.
Yep. It is.
Yep. We're coming back to modelling season.
Telford in between.
Yes. Telford as well. So, yes. Yeah. But yes, it will be in October. Sometime in October will be Flory Fest. Yeah, definitely. Probably going to be beginning of October, something else like that will do it. So, yes. Cool. All right then, guys. We will leave it right there. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Big thank you for John for joining us as well.
No problem.
Lovely to see you as always, mate. And obviously to Matt. And we'll catch you guys all very, very soon. So until later, everybody. Happy modelling. Take care. Say goodbye, gentlemen. We're out of here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.